Good day everyone. My name is Rishika. Isn't it too hot today? This hot weather makes me remind of the hot zone equatorial regions and hot deserts. So let's start with an introduction of the equatorial regions and tropical regions. The areas which are near the equator, 50° north and south of the equator, are called the equatorial regions. The areas between 50° and 23.5° north and south of the equator are called the tropical regions. Hot deserts are found in the tropical regions or very close to them. These are the climatic regions in the world. As you can see, the equator runs to the center and most of the region around are the hot regions. Now let us talk in brief both each equatorial region climate and tropical region climate. Equatorial region climate. In the equatorial region, there is rain every day throughout the year. It is very hot and humid and the region has no winter. Parts of Africa, South America and Southeast Asia fall in this region. Tropical region climate. In the tropical areas, the summer is hot and there is rainfall in these months. This climate is found in the lowlands within the tropical regions. Uplands climate. There are some parts of the tropical areas that are on higher ground. These are called uplands and are made up of plateau and hills. Due to the height of land, the climate is cooler and there are distinct seasons. Now let us talk about desert. A desert is a very warm place. The air is very hot and dry. There is very little rain. The soil is very sandy. Most animals that live in the desert sleep during the day because it is too hot. They come out at night to eat. They are called nocturnal. Many plants have thick leaves in the desert to retain water. Would you like to know about desert climate? Desert climate. Most of the world's main deserts lie in the tropical regions or very close to them. Here, there is very little rainfall. The Sahara Desert of Africa, the Sonoran and Mexico deserts of North America, the Great Australian Desert and the Arabian Desert of Asia are all hot deserts. The areas marked in brown are the desert regions. As you can notice, they are normally around the equator or the tropics. Formation of desert regions. Land over the equator becomes very hot. The hot and moist air rises and it rains a lot in these areas. The air cools down and moves north and southwards. It gets drier as air loses its moisture by the time it reaches these places. The cool air sinks to the ground. It warms again over the Tropic of Cancer in the north and the Tropic of Capricorn in the south. Warm air near the surface moves back to the equator, and this cycle is repeated continuously. Thus, we get our rainforest and the deserts. What is a habitat? The place where plants grow is a habitat for vegetation. A habitat is where animals live, find food, water and shelter that it needs to live. For example, a toucan's habitat is the rainforest. Now, we will proceed by talking about the different natural vegetation like desert, grasslands, tropical forest and rainforest. The layers of the equatorial forest. The first layer is the emergent layer. The second layer is canopy. The third layer is understory and the fourth layer is undergrowth. Equatorial rainforest. A rainforest is an environment where rain falls almost every day. A rainforest has warm weather year-round. A rainforest has millions of plants and animals. Many of these plants are used to make medicine to fight diseases and illnesses. Rainforests are located along the equator. Parts of Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia fall in this region. Tropical deciduous forest. A forest is an environment that gets enough rain and warm temperatures for lots of trees to grow. When the fall arrives, the leaves will turn red, orange, and yellow. Once winter comes, the trees lose their leaves. Grasslands. The uplands of this region have grasslands with a few trees here and there. These are areas where there are tall and short grasses with a limited number of trees. Thorn forests and desert vegetation. Towards the margins of the deserts, there are thorn forests made up of low trees and shrubs with thorns. The desert itself has very interesting plants which adapt themselves to the harsh climate. They do this through long roots that reach out to the water deep inside the ground, thorns that protect their leaves, tiny leaves to prevent loss of water from the plant through evaporation, fleshy stems that store water, strong seeds which can remain dormant for a long time in the desert soil. When the desert sometimes receives rain, these seeds germinate quickly, making the desert look beautiful with the fleshy sprouted plants and flowers. Can any plants grow in a desert? Deserts are the home to many living things. Plants that grow in a desert have to be especially adapted to the dry conditions. They must be able to collect and store water and reduce water loss. Desert plants look quite different to plants that grow in other places. Now we will talk about the animal life of different regions. Animal life. The warm climate and the variety of vegetation make life suitable for many different kinds of animals. There are thousands of varieties of animals, birds, fish, and insects in the world, and more than half of these are found in the hot zone, especially in the evergreen forest. The warm waters of this zone are also home to a huge variety of sea creatures like corals or the small colorful fish that you see in aquariums. Animal life of desert. Animals in the desert must survive the intense heat, searing sun, and lack of water. Animals that live in the hot desert have many adaptations. Some animals never drink but get their water from seeds. Some can contain up to 50% water and plants. Many animals are nocturnal, sleeping during the hot day and only coming out at night to eat and hunt. Some animals rarely spend any time above ground. Animal life of rainforest. The animals live in different levels of the forest, something like the people in a block of multi-storied flats. The forest can be noisy, as many of these birds and animals communicate with each other by making loud sounds. Animal life of tropical deciduous forest. The tropical deciduous forests, also sometimes called monsoon forests, cover large parts of Asia. In Asia, the Asian elephant, many species of deer, tigers, leopards, rhinoceros, and crocodiles are the main wild animals, while bats, kangaroos, and rodents are some mammals found in Australia. The grasslands, particularly those in Africa, are the habitat of a large and diverse animal population. There are plant-eating animals such as elephants, zebras, giraffes, and many varieties of deer and antelope. There are also flesh-eating animals such as lions, leopards, and hyenas. I hope all of y'all enjoyed my presentation and will use the information I gave you today. Thank you.